But the host that let Chris Richards know, the man who actually broke the news to Chris Richards, he didn't even know about it going into this interview, was Pat Mcafee. Now, I just got off my soapbox yesterday talking about how Pat Mac has been the greatest thing to happen to sports media, and a lot of that for his personality. But there are some things that always remind us that he is not a soccer connoisseur. He does not generally follow the sport. He is a football guy through and through, American football, that is. And so we got a couple of clips from that show yesterday of what he was saying on that show. To play on air, or will this be on social media?
It'd be we can't play it on
social media. You can't play it on air. What were some of the things? Give us some quotes that McAfee said yesterday.
So this is just like the whole show in general. We'll get to McAfee specific here a little bit. CONCACAF. You want to take a guess at what they said about CONCACAF? How they pronounce CONCACAF?
Ooh, Concafefa?
Concafeef. Concaf. That's
sounds close to KFC.
Yes.
Concaf. Oh man.
And then
I'm gonna go get a double from Concaf.
Someone said that the Portland Timbers are trying to make an offer to Crystal Palace for Chris Richards. I don't think that's ever been rumored. I think they're just saying that.
It might be. I might be.
I've never no one. No. Seattle's trying to buy him, not Portland. Seattle's trying to buy him. They're trying to give him a lucrative offer. I can't say I've heard that rumor. Can't say I don't think he would want to even do that.
No, that's so bad. I don't even know if we're gonna run with that one. That would be a tough look for us. The National Soccer Network.
I've said some stupid stuff on our social media pages, but
yes.
That's not one of them. That's definitely not Pulisic. How do you think they pronounce Pulisic?
Pulisic?
You're yeah, that's pretty spot on. It's Pulisic. Pulisic.
Pulisic? Oh,
yeah.
Boy.
But now, all right, let's get into
a draw. It's just an accent, man. That's all that was. They knew it. They could read. Hopefully.
All right, so let's get into the Pat McAfee things. Chris Richards.
Right.
Chris Richards apparently plays middle back. Pat, I don't think I've ever heard of a middle back position in soccer. I've heard center back. I've heard center defender. I've never heard middle back before. Maybe Pat just making up positions on his own. I've never heard that. Also, Chris Richards does not play midfield, Pat. Pat said, well, he plays along in that middle back. He can also play midfield if we need him. Chris doesn't play midfield, Pat. He doesn't. I'm sure he could. I'm sure he could play as a number 6 at a CDM, but no, he doesn't play midfield, Pat. He's trying to make him versatile. I don't know what he's trying to say, but no, I've never heard the middle back position.
Didn't you say you thought Balogun was a team?
Hold on. You're jumping the gun on everything.
Oh, sorry.
Today.
All right. Geez.
You're jumping the gun. I just want to hear. I want to pause. I'm hoping you get. I want to hear what you got to say. I'm not. You're jumping the gun. That's twice now.
I'm just ruining the show for Ryan over here. He's got stuff lined up. Man, we got to talk a little bit longer in the mornings, apparently, before we go live on this thing. Yeah, clearly just make it up. I'm trying to think of what a nice a reverse would be for what Pat McAfee did in the NFL as a kicker. Like, what would they what do you think someone who doesn't understand football would call Pat McAfee? The footy guy? I don't know. I mean, what do you call
instead of a kicker?
Instead of a kicker, you know? And he's saying like he plays middle back, but clearly that's not true. He's just making stuff up on the fly. What would you call an NFL kicker that isn't a kicker? I'm trying to think of what the reverse of that would be.
Game starter.
The game starter? All right, there you go.
The drive starter.
You've been a great game starter your entire career. What the hell is a game starter? When you talking
well, he starts off the game. He starts off.
He does. I mean, yeah, technically, technically Chris Richards at some point throughout the course of the game is in the middle of the field. Therefore, he's a middle back. Duh, Ryan. I mean, come on. It's simple, dude. That's how this works.
Since Date has already alluded to it, Balogun. Someone was explaining who Balogun was. So the question was how much is Chris Richards one of the highest paid players in England? And also, I love the way they say Tim Howard. Tim Howard. Tim Howard. But
That's
he
definitely an accent thing.
but the guy goes, I don't know all the names besides AJ Hawk and Pat McAfee, which AJ Hawk looked so clueless during this whole thing. He just was like,
Just
anyway,
a blank stare at the camera.
Anyway, so the guy's David. Fuller and Balogun with AS Monaco, Pulisic with Balat, and McAfee goes, "What did you just say? You named 2 teams there? Balogun a team? Balogun? Oh, Balogun. Balogun's a team? No, Balogun's our number 9. Balogun? Yes. Balogun is our starting number 9. And he didn't understand that he was actually French. Like, Balogun was, I don't even think French. Balogun's actually from England. I'm pretty sure, because that's who we were battling for who he played for. Balogun, I'm pretty sure, is actually English and not French. But what he said is since he was in the French league, he just ultimately thought he was French.
Yeah, man. I mean, hey, if you were to tell me if I
he's from New York. Balogun's from America.
Oh, he was born in New York.
Oh, he moved to London. Okay.
Yeah. Yep, he was born in New York. I think at like 3 years old his family moved to London. But yeah, hey man, I remember back in middle school, the teachers they would try to teach us how to think critically. Like that was the big thing when we were young, and they would go, "Pretend I'm an alien. Teach me how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich." And I think sometimes Pat McAfee is kind of like that alien when it comes to the game of soccer. He hears things and he's like, "Yeah," and it's just off the cuff, and it's like, "No, dude, like you're not even in the ballpark." But I mean, if you were to tell me Balogun FC was a team, I mean, I would kind of believe you. Heck yeah, Balogun FC,
an avenue for it.
Absolutely, or Balogun. What the hell they call him?
Balogun.
Balogun FC. Yeah, absolutely. They sound like a good club.
I will give Pat props on one thing. He did call the French League a farmers league. I will give him that. He did say that. So he was right. He was like, "Yeah, didn't Messi and Mbappe just stay there for like 20 minutes and get up and leave?" And I was like, "Yeah, he's kind of right at that aspect." So he does know some stuff. Apparently Pochettino is so we call him everyone calls him Poch, right? Because it's Pochettino. Apparently McAfee just called him Ponch. So it's apparently Mauricio Pochettino.
Oh, he does that all the time. Yeah,
Ponch.
I've listened to multiple interviews. Ponch. Also, isn't it Poch?
Yeah, Poch.
There was Pochettino.
Poch. What did I say? Poch?
Pochettino, right? Yeah, you said Poch.
Oh, because yeah, you're right.
Who's on first? What's on second? Is it Poch or Poch?
You got me confused with I was getting confused there with Ponch. So I said Poch.
Oh,
Poch. My bad.
Poncho. No, you're good. No, I've heard multiple interviews of he does that. I can't tell what things he's doing on purpose and what things he's doing accidentally. With McAfee, I feel like that line is just blurred sometimes. Sometimes it feels like he's like intentionally saying these things because he's like, "I'm just a goofball and this is how I do it." And then other times it's like he like genuinely means what he's saying. So I can't tell, but no, he's been doing that for a while now.
Yeah, but that's all the mispronunciations that there was. But Pat McAfee also was like, "This guy Chris Richards, he's got to be a Columbus Crew, Portland Timbers. Got to be on a team like this in the MLS." But no, I mean, I like McAfee. I mean, I understand he doesn't know soccer. Like, I don't know all the ins and outs of football that he does. I don't know all the ins and outs of all the sports that the whole show knows. But no, when it comes to soccer, McAfee just when it comes to soccer, just relax a little bit on it. Don't talk about it a ton. Yeah. I understand you had the confidence and all that stuff. It was a good interview with Chris Richards on what he was talking about, and he did stuff. Also, I don't know if you saw the Chris Richards actually sent a voice memo to the Instagram account of the U.S. men's national team asking, "Hey, can I get a brief rundown of what they're going to ask?"
Oh, yeah,
and they
I did. Yep.
But no, McAfee does a really good job, and I think he does a really good job for growing sports, especially here in America. And he's really entertaining person, really entertaining show. But when it comes to soccer, Pat, just step aside a little bit. Don't say everything that comes to your head. Don't say everything.
Yeah. It's hard, man. Honestly, it's hard as someone who's in his position. And I look at Stephen A. like the same exact way, right? Like they put
He ain't
Stephen
know
A.
half the
Smith.
shit he's saying.
They put Stephen A. Smith on mixed martial arts. I remember this.
Oh,
And this was
boy.
like during the era of me like actually kind of watching MMA because they had the best characters in the world. I mean, between the Diaz brothers and Masvidal and all these guys, Conor McGregor, obviously the one that kind of brought MMA to the forefront. But they just had a list of personalities 3 miles wide. And obviously with that, you know, someone like Stephen A. who brings in the ratings, they're gonna put him on that broadcast crew, and they did. And almost immediately, Joe Rogan and the rest of those guys are like, "Dude, you have no idea what you're talking about. Like, you might have watched boxing growing up, but I assure you." You do not know a damn thing about mixed martial arts, but you're over here talking like you do, obviously, because you're Stephen A. Like, you talk the way that you talk, but that's just the way it is, right? If you bring in the ratings, if you're popular, they're going to put you on everything. Same thing with Mcafee. You know what I mean? Like, hey, we're going to have you be the guy to break the news to Chris Richards. But like Pat Mack can't just sit back and just be like a normal like interviewer just going from question to question. That's just not who he is, you know, especially when he's surrounded by all the guys that he's surrounded by. That's just not how he operates. So, but I love his willingness to fail forward,
Yeah.
to just fail time and time again.
It's
But
another
it's just
respectable thing because not a lot of people want to fail, especially on his platform. I guess like his following that he has on his level, on his platform. Not a lot of people
Right.
are willing to do that, and that's why I think he's such a respectable, likable person in not only the sports media world. I mean, I bet you could probably ask people who don't even watch sports, who they'd probably know who Pat McAfee is, just because he's all over the place. He's a nice guy. I mean, some people probably tune into game day or just watch or follow them just so they could see the kick, his kick for charity. Like I bet you that's what people do. And that's what my mom does, but like that's what people do is for that kick. But no, it's sometimes some of these big sports people, they try to get put in situation like, do we really have to listen to Stephen A. Smith talk about baseball? No, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Sometimes we see these big media people, sports people, they get put in situations that I don't know if they volunteer themselves to do or the network just says it so they could get a better viewing, but they don't necessarily know what they're talking about. Stephen A. Smith does really well when it comes to the game of basketball. Football, he's not so bad, but basketball and football are his go-to. He should probably stay that way. But when it comes to like baseball, hockey, MMA, soccer, I'm sure, like, sometimes you just got to take a back seat to it.
You don't necessarily have to know what you're talking about as long as you come with a certain level of confidence and you stand behind what you say. Trust me, networks are going to love you. And as much as you hate them, you continue to watch them. So I'm sure that's why they put them on a lot of different things. But no, you're right. I mean, shout out Pat Mack, shout out the boys. Very cool to see Chris Richards win that award. No, Balogun is not a team. That is actually our lead striker for the U.S. men's
They also
national
called him
team.
an elite goal scorer, and I was like, he ain't elite, I'll tell you that.
Maybe on our standards, but not
sure.
Not necessarily elite. But coming up next, hour number 2 here on Inside the Game, we got a lot of fun topics coming up. We're just going to have some fun with this one. The worst matchup of all time in each major professional sport. Who would you want to play the least? Doesn't matter year, team. Regardless, we're going to name each of our major sports and who the nightmare scenario is for us if we were in that league or playing. Also, Harbaugh to the Giants.